Hello, I'm Thorstein and today I will talk about SSH authentication. So we'll talk about why key-based authentication is better than passwords, and especially I want to show you how to disable password login once you have gotten yourself and all your colleagues and everyone else to use SSH keys. You can just turn off that password login altogether to tighten security. Alright, so first off, why is it more secure? The main draw to me is with a password, well, one, you type it many times a day, and two, your password travels over the wire, it leaves your computer, so to speak. With a private key, that never leaves your computer, and of course you have a private and a public key, and you have a certain, you have, how to put it, a relationship of trust between the server and the client. The server will create a random string and will encrypt that string with your public key, then send that to the client, and the client will then decrypt that with your private key and then send that back to the server. So there's some kind of mutual trust established that, hey, I am who I say I am, and so on. Another nice property is that you can have one Unix user, typically in a corporate setting, and you have a certain user that you use to log into, say, a customer to do support, monitoring, or whatever, and you can have multiple keys for that one user, and of course you can revoke keys for colleagues that are not working on the project anymore, and so on and so forth. So a lot of nice properties in the key. When discussing this, of course, it should also be emphasized that you should have a password on your key, so that in case someone steals your laptop, they can't use your key without cracking that as well. So how this works, I'll go through this quickly. So generate an SSH key, that's the first thing you do. I have already done that, so I will not do it. And then you will copy that key to your server. So here I have this user called John SSH at SSHexample.com, and I have a key, so I'll copy my key over to that user account for John on SSHexample.com there. And then I need to type a password since I've not yet fired this up to use keys. And so now my key has been added to the John user at SSHexample.com. So next time I want to log in as John, I can do so without typing in a password. And this works because my public key is added to this special file called .ssh/authorized keys. And that can have many lines of, each line has one public key. And by the way, while we're here, do take heed that the permissions on this file should be 600, so that's like chmod 600. That's the number one reason why key-based authentication doesn't work on a Unix server. It's because the permission on this file is wrong. This is something I've done many times. I know this really well. Alright, so you want to do this. There. Alright, so then we can log in without using passwords. So now you have set this up for yourself or for your user, and all your colleagues have set this up as well. So there's no real need to be able to log in using a password. So let's disable that in order to improve security a little bit on the server. Alright, so to do that, there is this setting called password authentication. Okay, so if I become the root user, so now I can do whatever I like. So the main configuration file for the SSH server is sshd_config, but there's also this include directive. So that says include everything in this directory here .d and then sterix.conf. So if we create a .conf file with just a setting to disable password login, that should work. Okay. So now I've created a file called disablepasswordlogin.conf, and it has one setting, password authentication. And of course you can look up, if you don't remember the setting, it has a good man page. So the last thing that we need to do is to reload the configuration. So that's system control, reload, SSH, and now, next time I log in, well, I have my SSH key added, so that worked brilliantly. But if I remove my key from this file, or just remove the authorized keys altogether, next time I log in, I'm not allowed to, and I'm not giving a chance to enter my password there. So now I have to ask someone else to add my key, or else I will never be able to log on to the server again. Yes, that's just what we just did. Echo password authentication no to this .conf file, and then reload SSHD, and that's all you need to do. So now everyone will get this error message when they try to log in and they don't have their public key added to the correct file on the server. So in summary, use SSH keys everywhere you can, set a password on your private key, and turn off password login on all your servers. And there's a good man page that I just said, and there's also some good discussions on the internet, and I linked up to one that I particularly like there. Right, thanks you very much for watching. See you next time.